Hey folks, this is Waylon. We do a lot of these live videos and they reach like 50,000 people in 20 minutes, which is always super fun. Always super fun and super inspiring. Hopefully it's mildly fun for you too. So today I wanted to talk about something pretty fundamental to our lives. So in the same way that we spend 8 hours or thereabouts on one piece of furniture, which is our mattress, and that means the mattress is super important. In terms of how strong it is, how stable it is, how organic it is, how it doesn't off-gas. When we sleep every night, we spend 8 hours of our day every day or 5 days a week or thereabouts working. So finding our path, finding a path that gives us joy, that gives others joy or helpfulness, that pays our bills, which is super important. It's interesting that in Buddhism, it's considered a sort of spiritual quality or accomplishment to be able to pay your bills, and it's considered the opposite if you can't. So this is what we call in Buddhism right livelihood, which is sort of a fancy pretentious term for finding your path, finding your way, finding your vocation, finding your passion. So what is your passion? I'd love to hear, folks. Grace is telling me to smile. Thank you. And Tamara is in East Texas, so if you're all just tuning in, say where you're from. Lisa from Annapolis. Grace is from Smile. And welcome to everybody. So yeah, if you're just here, just say where you're tuning in. Give it a like or love. Let's hope the more likes and loves or hearts or weird emoticon faces, frowns, anything helps make the video get beyond the choir, beyond the Facebook algorithm to all those who may not yet know they give a care about the notion of right livelihood. So right livelihood is something I'm very fortunate to be able to do. There's this great quote, one of you knows it out there, it's like Plato or Socrates or something, where it says, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. It's something like that. Basically, it's the notion of if you find your joy and where your joy intersects with service to others and making a living, then you can work 1,000,000 hours a week. And while you still have to take care of yourself, you have to exercise, you have to eat well, you have to sleep, you have to do some yoga or stretching, do all the basic stuff, you can work way too much and kind of get away with it because you love it. It's kind of like if you're reading a book or binging on a Netflix series, you don't say, ugh, I just binge watched Shameless for 8 hours, it was so hard. You may say, wow, I binge watched Shameless for 8 hours. I need to get outside. I need to get some exercise. I need to stop being on TV for 8 hours. But you won't complain about it because it's a choice you made. All right. So if any of you have questions about right livelihood, hit me gently. Like Stacy says, I'm working on finding my path, changing my path. So a lot of us don't know what we want to do with our talents. So I just challenge you or invite you to, it's very simple. This is not, you don't need to take some test to find out what you'd be good at. It's almost the opposite. You think, when in my life, what was I doing where I was the happiest and the most completely fulfilled? So just think about that. In my life, I always think about when I was leading summer camps, these Buddhist summer camps. I was a drill instructor and it was marching, but it wasn't like military marching. It was like Buddhist, joyful, dorky Boy Scout, Girl Scout marching. So I was singing and I was marching and you were supposed to have good head and shoulders, and it was about this sort of discipline of being in the present moment and coordinating as a group. And it was like dance. It was like meditation and dance together with just a great feeling of cheerfulness. And I had a loud voice and it just used every part of me. It used the humor, it used the discipline, it used the helpfulness, hopefully, to others. And while I can't be a weird Buddhist drill instructor for a living, unfortunately, there are no job openings in that, although I'm sure if I kickstarted it and offered it publicly, people would do it. And that's sort of the point, is that you can create your weird little job. Like there's this lady, I did a very similar video recently, where I talked about this lady who makes these little pottery houses with little hearts or whatever coming out of the chimneys. And she sells them on Etsy. And I guarantee you, she never went to school and was told, you know what, you can become a doctor, or a lawyer, or ambulance driver, or a nurse, or you can be a baker, or you can be a writer, or You can do X or Y, or you can make these little houses with hearts coming out of the chimneys and sell them on Etsy. No one ever told her that. She just said, I love pottery. I love this sort of childlike imagination, and I'm going to find a way to market this and sell this. So, yeah, Tamra, kindness is your passion. Think about what you love to do, and don't worry about how it's not possible. Think, how do I make it possible? So if you have any questions, I'm happy to give you advice. Social media is a major, major, major ally in making weird career paths possible. Like I wrote a book without a distributor or anyone. I created a Facebook page and I blogged the book. I serialized the book on elephantjournal.com and I linked to the Facebook page. And then I shared, I built up the Facebook page so it had more than 100,000 fans before I even published the book. And then I had a way to market it, and I used Kickstarter to fund printing an eco book because I didn't want to print a plastic book. Most books are plastic coated now. All books, really, which is sad. So they're never compostable. So I wanted to do an eco book. I wanted to actually make the money instead of the middleman and the distributor and the bookstores. I actually didn't mind if the bookstores made money, but you have to go through a distributor. So long story short, what I wanted to do was impossible 20 years ago, but now it was not easy, but doable. And I did it. All right. So let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, Leslie, sorry, I haven't been doing my morning videos. Sobriety is your passion. So that's a wonderful thing. So many people have issues around alcohol or drugs or sobriety. It's wonderful if you can talk about that and make it accessible and make it fun and make it practical. You know, you can help people learn the easy way instead of learning the hard way. And that's a wonderful, wonderful gift. Yeah, Stacy, if fear stops you, and it should stop you, fear is what stops us from jumping off a cliff. So you can respect the fear, get to know the fear, make friends with the fear, and then the fear can just be your little Robin to your Batman. And the fear won't stop you. The fear will just be there to assist you in your adventures against fighting crime. So the fear might say, look, if you're going to do this book without plastic, without a distributor, how are you going to get it to people? And then Batman is going to say, hey, Robin, great question. I'm going to have to build Kickstarter, Facebook. I'm going to have to Instagram quotes because if I just Instagram the cover, it feels like marketing, and I don't want to be marketing at people. I want to just genuinely connect. So fear can be your Robin. Allison Kane, I've been at my job for almost 10 years and just got offered a job at a new company. Major fear of risk and changing jobs, not sure what to do. Well, I'd need a lot more info, but again, fear is not an enemy. Don't push away fear. Fear is a messenger saying, well, are you going to have a good income? Are you going to enjoy your job? So you need to ask all the questions fear is asking, but you don't need to be owned by fear or controlled by fear. Fear is just your little mini-me. This is live, Griselda. Tomer, I am done. You are gone. I'm not sure how I offended you, but I apologize. Leslie, crafts, working outside, plants, talking to people, making them smile and feel satisfied. I enjoy those. Yeah. So, you know, if you're looking to make a living through doing that kind of stuff, obviously you could start a nursery, you could teach gardening, you could do urban gardening plots, that kind of thing. There's many different things you can do. Crafts, there's big craft fairs you have to learn how to market. Hey Jocelyn, hey Tamara. Kavita, I'm in college and want to try so many things, but scared I'll fall behind something that I would eventually want to do. Yeah, I think that's... So yeah, I just, you know, find what you love to do and go after it. I wanted to be a writer, and yet I knew that many, many writers never got anything published or never made any money, and I'd grown up really poor, so I wanted to find a way to, you know, make a living and be able to raise a family and have a home, and, you know, I was super poor, so I wanted to basically find a stable way to be able to write and communicate about things I cared about. So I wound up realizing that I was a really bad employee. I was really incompetent generally. So I found great mentors, and then I created my own company, not knowing anything about business, but having some decent instincts, the main one being willing to ask advice from people who knew a lot more than me. Do not own your fear. Well, you can own your fear, but just, you know, be willing to let go of it as well. All right, Aaron, I truly believe fear is the opposite of love. I think that's a nice bumper sticker, but I don't really think so. I think if you get to know your fear and make friends with it, it can soften up. Someone I really recommend is the Pema Children. Pema Children. Oh, it's all backward. Pema Children. She is wonderful for getting to be comfortable with your uncertainty and your fear. Cultivating fearlessness and compassion. It's a very apt book to have right there. All right, Blizzardy Driggs, Idaho. That sounds wonderful. Griselda is trying to find her passion or path. Millie, I'm trying to find ways to incorporate more conscious humanitarian service to others in need along with my small business. I've been donating to the homeless, my time and collecting donations. So inspiring. You should give us a link so we know how to donate to your causes or help you out. I run to this city every 2 weeks. I'm finding the path to be my passion is healing my broken heart from the election. Good for you. Yeah. So one of the most inspiring things I saw after 9/11 was hundreds and thousands of people, Republican, Democrat, whatever, said, we need to do more to heal this world. We need to do something constructive and hopeful and loving with this pain and this tearing of the fabric, the social fabric. So many people left their jobs that they weren't happy with. A lot of good actually came out of people's reactions to 9/11. So the silver lining to any tragedy is that so many people, like, you know, when a loved one passes away, so many people wake up and say, wow, life is short, life is precious, how can I contribute? And we have a great blog on that, if you want to Google it, about that death can come at any moment. I think that's on Elephant Journal. I think it's titled that. It's about the 4 reminders in Buddhism. So similar to the notion of carpe diem as they talk about it in Dead Poets Society, what will your verse be? What will my verse be? What will your contribution to the world be? And believe me, you have one. Aaron, you write poetry. That's great. Brittany, I find happiness in helping those who don't want to help themselves, but I'm in a paradox because as much happiness as it brings me, it sucks the life out of me. Yeah, so the only true happiness, the only true generosity is when it also kind of comes back. So the happiness that you get by giving in turn obviously makes you happy. So that's wonderful, but you have to be able to take care of yourself. So there's a blog on Elephant titled Idiot Compassion, and I really recommend you read it. It's not saying you're an idiot, by the way. It's saying that there's a certain way to work with compassion in a skillful, not an idiotic way, so that it doesn't burn you out. Brittany, Idiot Compassion. So read about Idiot Compassion on Elephant. Brittany, I struggle with the reality that I'm stuck helping the corporate wheel spin. I don't dislike my job, but there are so many passions and desires I feel like I'm neglecting. How do I balance more efficiently? Well, I think you got to listen to yourself. So if you're not miserable, but you're not satisfied with your job, I think you need to start developing those passions on the side, whether it's volunteering or a craft or whatever, and build that up and get to know it. Like maybe it's writing an hour a day, whatever it is, pottery, volunteering, do your thing, and then build it up, build it up, build it up. And at some point you might say, you know what, I can make a living doing this. I can find a way to get donations. Maybe it's a nonprofit or a for-profit, whatever it is. So friends of mine started a dog rescue because that was their passion. And they did it kind of on a volunteer basis. But then eventually they were like, how can we make a living doing this? It's not that they want to get rich off of rescuing dogs, but you know, that's a pretty noble way to make a living if they can find a way. And people want to donate and support that. So they did that. And I think that's fantastic. So yeah, it's important. Life is short. Find something that you love. On the other hand, this isn't some radical call to just like quit your job and stop being able to pay your bills. We need to be able to pay for the roof of our heads. And so you can just start it on the side, grow it bigger and bigger until it's ready to maybe take over. Lisa, it is not who you think you are that holds you back. It is who you think you are not. Maria, I'm out of a wee balance at the moment. Diagnosed with fibromyalgia, single parent, not working, but love to communicate and share. Qualified nurse, horticulturist, florist, paint, connected to spirit. I know you have a different view on this, Waylon, but seriously could write a book on my experiences growing up. Anyway, my point is my path is looking murky at the moment, but I'm going to create income from my home. This is my intention for this year. Woo! Maybe I was meant to stop working for others to create my own. I'm going to find out. I mean, all the power to you. You can do it. I don't know what I have a different opinion on you, on your thing about, but Yeah, I think that's fantastic. And the joy that comes out of helping others and making a living. So if you want more in-depth on this, write Livelihood. It's a video I did on youtube.com/elephantjournal. Shannon, Dick, just received your book in the mail. Look forward to reading it. Oh, fantastic. Thank you for getting it, and cheers to you. So if any of you are just tuning in, say where you're from or what your relationship is to your job or your right livelihood or your passion, and what your thoughts are, confusion or question around that is. And if you feel like giving a like or a love or a share, that helps it get beyond the Facebook algorithm, and then more and more people can see this. We can get to 200 people. Chloe Dubois. Make a living without encouraging consumerism. How is this possible? Yeah, well, conscious consumerism. So we do all need to buy things, and buying things is great if it's fair trade, fair labor, hopefully made in the U.S. or made locally wherever you are. Like you get that feeling when I go to this Waldorf craft fair every year, and I buy pottery and some, organic towels made by a women's co-op in Ethiopia, hardly local, but a good cause. So you basically just look for consumerism that makes you feel good, and you buy as little as possible, and then you're rich. Then you can travel more. Many, many, many articles have all pointed out that what makes our lives truly rich beyond satisfying our basic needs, which is vital and shouldn't be overlooked, is experiences and friendships. So if you can travel, if you can start a little cooking club or dinner party, book reading club or something, those are going to make your life rich. And also just being on your own is great too. All right, Maria wants to start a Waffle House. Aaron Joe Kiefer Allen. People mistake hate is the opposite of love, but is fear. I don't see it on a bumper sticker. Learned it through enlightenment. Quite a surprise. Fear keeps us from letting go and growing. Yeah, I think you and I will have to agree respectfully to disagree on that. Dustin, I feel that my situations in life is holding me back from my true purpose and passions in life, which is writing and eventually writing a book on my journey through this thing called life. I wouldn't say eventually. I would start now. Like, start writing a chapter at a time and blog it. Blog it on Elephant. Blog it on your own website. Blog it on Huffington Post. Wherever you want. I would encourage you to support independent media. But just start now and just write little bits. And it doesn't have to be your life. It can just be your experiences. So you don't need to make it a huge project. Just start writing something genuine. And you'll find that you'll learn as you go. Any advice on what steps I may take to pursue without boundary? Yeah, so I actually just did that. So I wrote my book, not as a book, but just chapter by chapter. Just whenever I had something genuine to offer, I did that. So it was sort of a bite-sized, one step at a time kind of thing. Theo, I really admire what you've achieved. How long did it take you to earn enough income to sustain yourself on an ongoing basis? So, well, I was super broke when I started, so I always earned an income, luckily. I was very, very broke twice, eating day-old muffins and, sleeping on people's couches and stuff. The first time when I first started, and then again when I decided we were a print magazine, we were national, it was a pretty good business, but I decided I wanted to go online, that it was more environmentally responsible and we could reach many more people basically for free. So I decided to go online, and I had to give up all my readers, which meant I had to give up all my advertisers, which meant I had to give up my car and my office and my staff, and my house went into foreclosure, and I was working on a broken laptop, where only a corner of the screen worked, so I had to put all the windows into that corner of the screen, and I had to squint, and I started going blind, basically. I'd go to the grocery store, I couldn't read labels. So it was hard, and you have to make sacrifice. But at this point, I call it the Kickstarter generation. It's actually easier than ever to, if your idea or your project helps people in any way or is fun, people might pre-give to it. So pre-buy, like through Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whatever. So I just kickstarted my book 2 years ago and raised $53,000, which went directly to pay for the eco books made only 20 blocks away. I just met with my printer yesterday, directly helped, their business, and we were able to do a beautiful book, hopefully, that wasn't kind of toxic or made overseas in a way that I didn't feel good about. So Theo, part of the everything that I've learned, I communicate through Elephant Academy. It's a 3-month course. It's a 3-month course, 12 weeks. The next session starts, I think applications are due January 12th, which is just a couple days from now. The link is elephantjournal.com/academy. It does cost money because it is worth a lot. We don't charge a lot, we just charge a little. You can do an auditing course if you don't have much time, or you can do the apprentice course, which is about 10 to 15 hours a week. And you'll work with like 50 other people, and you'll learn how to edit, you'll learn how to write, you'll learn how to share and blow up your social media presence, Facebook, Instagram, all this stuff. And you'll learn how to kind of make your dream a reality if that's what you want to do. And if you're happy doing what you're doing right now, you can learn how to make that more successful. We'll talk about journalism ethics and writing truth, facts, not just kind of virulent opinion. All right, I like Rule 62. Griselda, I do a lot of volunteering and always have. Tamara, Rule 62 is don't take yourself too seriously. My parents' Buddhist teacher said if you can keep a sense of humor and a healthy distrust of the rules laid down around you, there will be success. I blogged that up on Relephant under the Buddhist Recipe for Success, if you want to Google that. It's a wonderful blog. Amanda, I find my joy with animals. Chloe Dubois, making a living without encouraging consumerism. How is this possible? I hate the idea of selling stuff. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to push more noise and more stuff at everybody. You want to offer something that actually brings genuine joy or is practical or helpful. I think just find something that is helpful or practical or adds joy in your life and maybe share that with others. Keep it very simple. Lindsay's putting in all these great blogs. Idiot Compassion, The Buddhist Four Reminders, or A Meaningful Life, Carpe Diem, in video, The Death Comes Without Warning. Check out those links, and please reward Lindsay's effort doing that by checking out this is some of our best blogs. We have tons of blogs, Dustin and Griselda, on, if you search empath on Relephant, we have many, many, many blogs on that. Oh my God, Lori, I want to come join you. Pacific Northwest on an organic produce farm. I'm coming. Boise, Jan, currently unemployed and searching for my purpose. So what gives you joy? What's helpful in your life? What gives you joy and is helpful to others when you do it? So good luck with that, Jan. I'd love to hear more. There's a blog on Right Livelihood, Natural Hierarchy. I feel this all the way. Traveling has enriched my life so much. From Caitlin, Maria, Lori. Oh, this is the Pema Chodron book. It's just called Comfortable with Uncertainty. But really, any Pema Chodron book, if you just search Pema Chodron on Relephant Journal, there's tons of her teachings for free, and then you can, if you're inspired, go buy one of her books, which I highly recommend. Chloe, you bet. I love your name. I just like saying your name. Chloe Dubois. Holly, Indiana, billing and collection. I have no idea what my passion is or what I'm called to. I know that I need something, just not sure what yet. Yeah, so read that blog about natural hierarchy. It's above in the links. There's nothing wrong, in fact, a lot right with doing a so-called conventional or boring job. Those can be incredibly fulfilling. Someone who loves being a plumber or a construction worker, it's a craft. There's a joy, and they're connecting with people, and they're helping people's lives work. So none of this should be saying, oh, if you're doing something creative, that's great. If you're doing something practical, that's not great. That is not the point of this. It's really to find, what do you love? What is your craft that helps others? Rebecca, what if you're just stuck and can't figure out what it is you want to go for? Well, I think then you need to spend some time, maybe go on a little retreat, go travel, go on a meditation retreat, and really really contemplate and let it settle and think about it, talk it over with friends. It's not just a meditation kind of thing, but you want to really get in there and figure it out, because otherwise it could be years of kind of not really thinking about it. It's okay to wait and have patience, but you want to get in there and kind of, root around the engine and find what you're looking for. Lori, produce. We also grow our own sustainable flowers and do weddings. Oh my God, I want to go get married there. This is where I found my passion, being of service to others and providing good food for people. It's totally changed my life. All right, well, here's the end of the video then. So everyone should just move to Lori Thompson's farm and work on the farm. That sounds like heaven. do a bunch of organic wedding parties. Caitlin, going to actually challenge myself to be brave and genuine and write a little on my plane ride this weekend. Yeah. And then you can send it in, if so inspired, to elephantjournal.com/submit. Oh, here's a quote from my book from Lindsay, who's such a sweet commenter. Here's a quote from my book. And I will love some of you with some of me, and then all of you with all of me, if you let me and if I let you, as we get to know. And I hope we each have the honor and the pleasure to feel sad and joy and lust together. Waylon Lewis from Things I Would Like to Do With You. Get the book, elephantjournal.com/books, and there's a Valentine special. You can get 2 for basically 1, so you can give 1, gift 2 at elephantjournal.com/books. elephantjournal.com/books. Ding! Griselda, I need to make money to support myself in the best way I can. You know, to do the best you can for all mankind. I have foster children. Good for you. I've been a foster child. Awesome. I have very interesting life experiences. I want to put it to work and be able to support myself. I love that. Sounds like you kind of are feeling out where your path is. It's something to do with fostering and supporting yourself in the process. So I would love to hear more. And if you want to write about that, write on elephantjournal.com/submit, and we'll, you'll get some feedback, and you can write about your searching for your path. Lori, I feel like I'm on the right path, but I feel like there is more out there for me. How do I find this more? Well, maybe the more is in the less. Like maybe the more is in what you're already doing. So maybe you should write about what you're doing, because I think everyone on earth wants to, like I'm joking, everyone wants to hear more about that kind of way of life, and to reconnect with genuine food and organic and, weddings and all the stuff that you're hosting at the farm. What is the life of a farm like? I would read that book, so maybe you should write about it. Just an idea. Zanat, how do I know that I am on my path? I think if you're asking that question, you may not be on your path, because if you're on your path, you kind of know it. It's like, it's meaty. It's, I'm a vegan, so that's a bad word to use, but it's like, you can feel it. It's like, it's solid. It's like a table. I'm on my path. I'm on my path. So if you're not totally sure, you might be close to your path. You might be doing your path 50%, but maybe you just sharpen it. Say, what do I care about? What is helpful? What's helpful to others? What is fun? What gives me joy? Natalie Pellegrini, hello. Demi, oh my God, I can't see my emojis, LOL. That's the best social media sentence ever. OMG, I can't see my emojis, LOL. I'm giving you a like just to complete that perfect social media sentence. All right, so join our academy. It's starting January 12th. If you want to study with me how to kind of find your passion, it is focused around writing and social media, but social media helps what any of you are doing, whether you're a yoga teacher, traveling, have a plumbing business, whatever you're doing, a Facebook page, Instagram, all this stuff can blow it up and help you connect with others. Anita, hello. Griselda, awesome. She loves hearing about all the details or the mechanics. Shelby, I don't have a specific passion. My passion is doing the best at whatever it is I'm doing. I went from wanting to be a veterinarian then to a psychologist. You could be a psychologist of animals. To a cosmetologist, you could be a psychologist that does cosmetology with animals. And now I'm a supervisor. You could supervise the cosmetology and psychology of animals. And loving my job at a grocery store, staffed by animals, potentially, if you start your own thing. I want to pursue management positions and eventually possibly directing my own store, since my profession has changed so much and I have no college experience. Does this sound like I'm setting myself up to fail, or could I succeed? Based on your amazing comment, Shelby, I think there's no question you're going to succeed. You are finding your way, and you're willing to get into something and then let go, and get into something and then let go. The only danger is that you'll mistake your passion for getting into something and letting go as a habitual pattern. So at some point you'll want to find what you love and say, you know what? Boom, I'm 2 feet in. I'm going all the way. Because like with Elephant, what it was necessary for me to find success and support the writing of thousands of people a year was for me to commit a lot of time and love and blood, sweat, and tears. Not too much blood, sweat, and tears into really creating this. And that takes consistency. Consistency is one of the least valued attributes in Western culture. We're all about speedy, 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 speedy. But we need to also Just be willing to do the work. Sarah, gifting myself your book for my upcoming birthday on February 14th. Wow. Well, it's a book about love. Your birthday is on Valentine's Day. That's pretty cool. Sarah, awesome. If I see it, I'll sign it. Panda, Kitten Panda. I am stuck between deciding if I should continue to try to manifest love versus putting too much energy into finding a special person. Thanks for your time. Yeah, I would put some energy into finding someone if you want to, but if you know, there's some great quote which I think really hits the nail on the head of finding love, is if you work on yourself and making yourself love worthy and making friends with yourself. Again, Pema Chodron is wonderful for this stuff. Then it'll just happen. Someone will come forward who will love you. So work on getting to know and loving yourself and being kind to yourself and being kind to others. And that's a thing called Maitri, which I write about on Elephant Journal, M-A-I-T-R-I, loving kindness for yourself. And if you agree with that, generally, give it a like or a love and help this video get out beyond the algorithm to all those who may give a care. Zoe Gemelli. Best advice on pulling out of depression as a creative person. Joy is lost right now. Yeah, so from a Buddhist point of view, so number one, depression, respect. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anyone. You know your thing. Maybe listen to a psychologist or a doctor or whatever. But psychotherapist. But from a Buddhist point of view, depression doesn't mean you're bad. It's something we all go through. Clinical depression is really tough, and you have to deal with it however you need to deal with it. But as a creative person, which is your question, instead of trying to avoid the depression, you can kind of write about the depression. You can write through the depression. Winston Churchill has this quote that says, the only way out is through. So instead of trying to avoid, like the Heisman Trophy, instead of trying to get away from it, like the title of this book, Comfortable with Uncertainty, if you're good at reading backward. So you're going to want to, if you write genuinely, or your art, whatever your art or your communication thing is, maybe get into some creative art around your depression. So the point is not to swim and drown in your depression, but to kind of write about it and communicate it in a helpful way to others. And then something magical called catharsis, which is transformation, which is the elixir of shedding light onto something that is often kind of suppressed or we avoid. And then it can be helpful to others. And then you can find your joy in connecting about something that you know intimately, but maybe never really, we spend our whole lives trying to avoid difficult conversations with ourselves. If you slow down, you have that conversation with your depression and you share it with other people, maybe you could help a lot of people find their way forward. So Zoe, big love to you, and hopefully everyone here can give Zoe a like or a comment or your own advice, but not top-down advice, like be respectful, because frankly Zoe knows way more about her situation than any of us, including myself. All right, there's the Buddhist recipe for success. It's also way more fun, personal, meaningful, not a job, and it actually works better because your heart and intelligence are in your every action. There's the link, a Buddhist recipe for success. Sabrina, what if being carefree is what gives you joy? Well, then you should find a job where you can be carefree, or create a job, like working with children. In the summer when I'm biking along the park on the way to work, you see these like young adults hitting children and each other with those big foam bats, and they're like playing some kind of like, I don't know what it is. It looks like a Dungeons and Dragons like camp. And it looks super fun, like just playing with kids all day. I mean, that's heaven. So maybe get involved in outdoor adventure or one of those great organizations. But wherever you see yourself being carefree, find a way. Other people may want to be carefree, so maybe they want to go on your hikes through nature and be carefree with you. All right, Griselda's leaving me. This video is over. Lauren, attending my first Buddhism class this Thursday. So excited to give my path a little more light. Yeah, Buddhism is fantastic because generally it won't try and sign you up for anything. It'll just offer you some basic practical wisdom. If there's a Shambhala center in your vicinity, I encourage everyone to go for their like free Monday night talks and discussions, and You don't need to join. You don't need to become Buddhist. You can just touch in with some basic meditation, get to know your own mind. It's good stuff. Tina, so funny this came up on my timeline. This is what I thought about this weekend. What is my passion? Some soul searching, and I found it. All right, check out elephantjournal.com/academy. Kathleen, what if you don't have anyone to talk to or who understands what you're going through? Well, then you have to be your own best friend. So number one, yeah, I mean, you can meet people, you can join a pottery class or a book club, or, you can join things, you can reach out. You can make that happen. You can invite people by for a potluck. But number one, there's a blog on Elephant that I recommend called The Buddhist Notion of Loneliness is a Good Thing. So making friends with yourself and being your own best friend. Everyone who likes to go to a party with someone, everyone who likes to travel with someone, what if you could be your own best friend, and then you could go to a party by yourself, or a movie by yourself, or dinner by yourself, or breakfast by yourself, or travel by yourself, and just be super happy because you're present with yourself and you're dealing with your own fear or concerns that come up. Anyway. George, I am just beginning to realize and find myself a newly single mother of 3 beautiful girls. Congratulations. Completely understanding that I am a warrior and a goddess and I'm on a new path. Good for you. Yeah, I mean, I would just recommend a couple moments of meditation a day. We'll do meditation at the end of this video in a few seconds. Kristen, how do you choose a topic to write about? I have so many ideas and I'm having trouble choosing and developing the ideas. So number one, you don't have to choose. If you're blogging, you can write every day. You can write every week. Write all of them. Write whatever's genuine. Write whatever's genuine. Write whatever's real. Write whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're talking about. It's incredibly simple. Stop thinking about which one to write about and just write and share it. I think sharing is a big part of the process. I don't mean sharing like on Facebook. I mean sharing your writing into a blog, a big public blog like Elephant or whatever, and connecting with people. It's fantastic. elephantjournal.com/submit if you want to join Elephant. Heather, a lot of the time it's the things that come naturally to us. It's hard to see since it's our normal, but listen to the signs. What are people praising you on, or what do you feel in the zone with? Heather, amen. Great comment from Heather Hudson. You should write about that. Dominic, I have lost my way. I'm frustrated and sad. What do I do? Well, first of all, just sit down and take some deep breaths and deal with that frustration and sadness on an emotional level. Just give yourself a break. And then you can kind of reorient it. So let's pretend you're like in Tel Aviv, or you're in Stockholm, or you're in Manitoba, or whatever, and you've lost your way and you're frustrated and sad. What do I do? So just find a park bench, find a beautiful spot, take a breath, sit down, get out your phone, charge up your phone, Google Maps. Where am I going? Where do I want to go? Figure out where you want to go, where you are, enjoy where you are, deal with how you're feeling. Give yourself a break. Read that blog on My Tree on Elephant. And we're there for you, man. So big love to Dominic, hopefully from everyone. Thomas from Fort Worth, Texas. I have the great joy of helping people find a piano for their home. Wow. Classical music is a vital part of my existence, so it's sometimes a very difficult when, as it is a sales job, the numbers become more important than the energetic and visceral joy that the music they will create. But isn't this also a selfish view, as it is my attachment to this perceived joy that I feel so greatly? No. That's a great question, though, Thomas. I think the joy of helping people connect with music in their home, especially through a piano, is not a selfish joy. It is, as Yvon Chouinard says about environmentalism, it is selfish to be an environmentalist in the sense that, he says, if you are selfish, you should be an environmentalist, because if you care only about yourself, then you have to care about the planet, because the planet will keep you healthy and happy. So, yeah, maybe it is selfish, but it's a divine and benign form of selfishness to care about bringing the joy of music into people's lives. So that's fine. And my only sales advice to you, and I know Dave would agree, who's our sales guy who's in the office today, is if you focus on the joy and bringing people joy, and you really care less about the numbers than the joy of music, you will actually sell more. So, my realtor, who I've recommended to 8,000 people, so she makes more money than if I hadn't, I only recommend her because she looked out for me. She didn't look out for her bonus. I bought a house. I really should have bought a small condo. And right up into the day of the sale, she was advising me to buy a small condo. She was looking out for me. And that honesty and that her having my back made me loyal and passionate about who she is and recommending her forever. Liz Benson in Boulder, Colorado, ladies and gentlemen. Caitlin, yes, I am that way. I feel my passion is... So big love to Thomas, by the way, and you should write about your path and link to your sales thing, and we'll help you sell some pianos. Caitlin, yes, I am that way. I feel my passion is always there, but then little curiosities roadblock my main focus. Yeah, but the little curiosities might be part of your path too. So just meditate, and then you can let go of the distractions, but also some of the distractions might be part of your path. Like recently I was walking with a friend and she was saying, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I don't know which one to do. And I said, well, maybe your job is to somehow find a venue to do all of those things. So like with Elephant, I'm passionate about rainforests, I'm passionate about, publicizing sexual assault, I'm passionate about bicycling to work, I'm passionate about bringing respect and honesty back to politics and journalism. I'm passionate about a whole random list of things, right? So I did Elephant, where I can focus on everything, where we can focus on everything. So you can find your path, even if it seems like it's 8 different things. You can find a way to weave all that together. Theo, well said on consistency. All right, Heather, here's an endorsement, sounds like. Elephant Academy rocks. I'm so glad I committed to the 4 months participation in the program this past summer. It helped me to focus in on where I wanted to go with my personal and business goals, and I feel like it has translated into some really successful feeling milestones for me. Elephant heart, green heart. I like the green heart. Heather, thank you so much. Very sweet and unprompted, so thank you. Nicole, I could happily listen to you speak all day, Waylon. Thank you. Leslie, what days are in... Oh, am I in... I'm coming to Venice, LA for Friday, Saturday. And I'd love to see you or anyone who's there. Heather, yes, I'm dealing with that too. All right. I think we got to wrap up because this is... Did I just see Lisa Fearman? Good stuff tonight, Mr. Lewis. Have a peaceful night, everyone. Kat, Canary Simmons, who I love. Waylon, are you going to go ahead with those book nights, reading Buddhist books and eating yummy food in Boulder? I thought about it, but a ton of people in Boulder wanted to do it, but not many of my own personal friends wanted to do it, and I felt like I needed a couple of my own friends to sort of help ground the potluck every week. I didn't want to just have a huge random assembly of people because, they might attend or not attend. And I don't want it to be a whole bunch of coordination. I just wanted people to want it and do it kind of low maintenance wise. All right, here's a blog. Ideas and inspirations are lost when we're burnt out. Yeah, so it's good to not be dependent on inspiration, but to be dependent on your own personal mission to want to be of benefit. All right, folks, let's wrap up with a moment of meditation. Please check out all the links that Waylon has put in here. It's been a pretty popular video, so thank you, folks. Take a good posture. Take a good deep breath up into your lungs. Take a good posture. Deep breath. Let's meditate for a minute. So now eyes open, a little bit down, 45 degrees down. Let's breathe in and out. This is Buddha Shamatha. We can bow to one another as a nice way to begin, of respect. Bow to yourself. Just breathe in and out. Allow your body to relax. If you find yourself thinking about something, label it thinking and return to your breath. All right, folks, thank you so much. If you want to join Elephant Academy, please do. The deadline is a couple days from now on January 19th, elephantjournal.com/academy. If you just want to check it out and maybe do it later, we do it 4 times a year. It's a 3-month thing now. It's on writing, blogging, editing, journalism, how to write a book, how to communicate mindfully, how to blow up your Facebook or social media presence so that you can make your thing popular and successful, whatever your dream is. And it's really fun. It's probably the most inspiring thing we get to do. So big love. If you've appreciated this video, please give it a like or a love. I'll go through a couple last comments while we have a little love fest. Please do give it a like or love. It's actually practical on Facebook. It helps it get beyond the algorithm. All right. Thomas, thank you, man. Heather, thank you. Todd, thank you. Todd. Yeah, Kat, if you move to Boulder, you can help me do the book club. That would be fun. Yuj, live from Istanbul. Big love to you. There's the Buddhist notion of loneliness is a good thing. Please take a moment and open a couple blogs if you think they might be helpful to you. Linda, sounds like there's a lot of loneliness out there. Do the metta meditation. Yeah, there's always a lot of loneliness out there, which isn't a bad thing. We just have to make friends with it. Yeah, well said, Julie. I think we think too much. It's good to keep it simple around right livelihood. All right, folks. Mwah, mwah, mwah. As soon as I hang up, there'll be a button in the middle of the screen. If you click it, you'll get notifications when I do future videos. I'm going to be traveling a lot in the next couple weeks, so I'll be doing videos from LA and Mexico and Burlington, Vermont, and Kermacholing, Vermont, and Stuart, Florida. So if you want to get those videos, click the notification link. Thank you so much. If you want to get our YouTube series, youtube.com/elephantjournal, and there's like more than 5 million views on there, so it's a pretty popular channel. Big love to everyone, and thank you. And thank you, Lindsay. Everyone give Lindsay a thank you if you feel like it. She's our editor who's been putting on the links in the comments.